Dúrug uair amháin gur beidh cumann lucht le scéal an chéad híogar Celtach, agus gur beidh a thiombal páirc an chrócaigh a bhí mar eiseamlár de éire chun dul an iomaíocht leis an gcuiread an domhan. A chu dír a bhí ag athrú, bhí an gcumann fíochant ar a stair agus a rialacha féin. Ar dóthain bailí, déachtaí ar chumann lucht le scéal trí thuaille polatúla, agus inis bhí brúartha na háirithe ó thuaig agus próiseas na síochána a thógant ar bord.
When I wrote How the GAA Survived the Troubles in 2001, I remember writing that Rule 21 was very important because policing was going to be the huge issue in any political settlement. Now that's how it's proved to be. It still isn't resolved, but it's on the way to being resolved. And in a small but significant way, the removal of Rule 21 played its part in that, because it indicated an acceptability of the police and of the security forces that hadn't existed up until then, which then freed the way for nationalists to join the police, which then freed the way for a wider political settlement. So it was a jigsaw of which Rule 21 was a very important piece.
In response to the British-Irish Peace Agreement, approved in referenda by the people of all Ireland, Cumann Luach le Scéal pledges its intent to delete Rule 21 from its official guide when effective steps are taken to implement the amended structures and policing arrangements envisaged in the British-Irish Peace Agreement.
That there could be any suggestion that the soldiers and policemen who were harassing members of the association on a day-to-day basis could be members of that association at the same time. The notion of that was just anathema to huge numbers of Northern GAA people. Now, that may not be logical, it may not be sensible, and it may not be particularly well thought out, but it was an instinctive reaction to what was going on, and nobody in the South grasped that for a long, long time.
Then it was a nice hot afternoon. It's quite cold and breezy now. This is inside towards McGrain. It comes back nicely. It's the first goal, and it's scored by Oisin McConville.
Chuir cúil spreagúil Oisin McConville sa dara le, deire leis na blianta frostrachais de ardhacha.
Dropped in neatly here. Once again, it is Stephen McDonnell, and he's put it over the bar. It's his third point. More significantly, Armagh lead the All-Ireland final.
Agur banistóir Chiari, Paddy O'Shea, de helicopters ag túlant, mar chud den neart a bhuaigartha an bhlasan.
It's out to Kieran McGeady, the captain. It's all...
Bhí sa gachéinge gur sé tagart de heirih aram na Bretaine ar pháirc Chrushvic Lianan.
He's done it. He did it across McGlen Rangers. He's done it with his native Armagh. A delighted Kieran McGeady and a delightful day.
Bra córs an ardhacha gur raibh sé tharaómacha craobh a bhuachant chomá, agus leantíad ó an iad.
Untín seisteach go deas tá seansan seo Brian McGuigan agus tá puintse all in eile MC 80 agus ag Brian McGuigan.
Thugad aigear chéile sa chlé canis, agus bhuaig tíróin le trí chúdín. Ach, ins na miana a lean, charfií a gapta an nua, Cormac McAnallen, de Hyndrom Bás Oban.
I think when people spoke of Armagh and Tyrone and Ulster football, I think that wasn't a very fair description, because I don't think there's any such thing as Ulster football, Munster football, Leinster or Connacht football. I think there's Gaelic football. We worked to the strengths that we had, and it gave us an amount of success. Now, this was often misrepresented as well, where some people would think that we discovered Gaelic games, and I never would agree with that at all. We just happened to come along at a certain time and put some sort of new slant on Gaelic football that was successful for a time. But things change, things move on, and you know, we always have to defer to Kerry because they have more All-Irelands than any of us can care to count. So they are the people who have done it best over the greatest period of time, and we'll never take that away from them. We'll always respect them for that, but we'll take our own little bit of respect for the few innovations that we introduced here and there that were successful on a given day.
Tréis na blianta ibre hí park an chróchuig inis mar cheandas na stadan na bhreithas an órap. Ach bheh sé a gceartláir dí spóireachta tasaí faoi dhearca daoine in leithan chumann agus cad chuige gur theas sé.
Would it make any sense for me to allow my competitors the use of my showroom to display their goods? And for me, that is the bottom line.
Well, bhí bóthar fada le taistil an céad lá gur dúirt in éigean gur ceart Páca Chrócaigh oscailt. An rud is mó tócha a chur isteach ar dhaoine ná gur raibh fearn soccer agus fearn rugger I dul isteach in san talamh néfa Páca Chrócaigh agus cúg sé sin I gcuine a lán daoine. Ach ag an nám géine ó mo héamh sé agus lán daoine eile, bheadh sé nárach dámbeoch ar fearn soccer agus rugger na hÉireann ag cluichí baile home games a immert I Sasanna. Go hára óstrada gur rámar tar éis 7 bbliana chahabh I gcéir gar síirse bhaint amach agus na Sasanna go chur bhaile. Tá bhí sin freisin an sin nuair a bhí mé I mútrán bhí sé sa léir go raibh bóthar lena dún le dúna. Agus tá bhí sin bhí gá le cinenne anna chapaigh ar fad. Agus ceapas go mbeadh seansa going é sin a phlé ag an ggódáil bhíon túl. Má céad bhíon mar útrán ach ní raigh léinn mar níor ligach dus na rún dul os cór na chodála agus chu sé sin déistin múramsa. Mar bhíos lántásta glacant le pécinne I dhéanach an chodáil.
The media said, look at the GAA, it's backward, it's old-fashioned, it's nationalist, it's not moving quick enough. In that sense, it's a very kind of easy target for the media to go after. And therefore, I think a lot of those debates that have been played out in recent years, where the GAA was not seen to be moving quick enough, you know. Come on, everybody, it's a straightforward decision, open Croke Park. Well, actually, no, it's your grounds. You've got to get your membership. That's your only constituency. Your constituency is not the back page of the tabloids. Your constituency is your membership. Until your membership's ready to move, then you don't move, and the rest of society then just has to wait. And I think that's one of the problems of the GAA. It has to kind of cater for its membership and take everybody with them.
All the motions have gone through and we decided to say nothing until the counties involved were notified, and that's the proper way to do business. And I'm not going to say anything in the meantime. There'll be a statement issued as soon as the counties are notified tomorrow.
So you can't give us any hint of what way it might have gone?
No, no hint, no nod, no wink. We'll just take it as it comes now. Thank you very much.
You're smiling, Sean, which is a good thing.
Well, I'm always smiling. On Rúnshaw insna cumann, ní osglófar Páca Chrócaigh néchar. Tam cinnte di sin. Agus bhí na daoine insna cumann ag fécint ar anú, bhí siad ag fécint cumann nó clascéal, bhí siad ag héisteacht leis an cosmhaintear, agus bhí siad ag cloisint gur a bheith seo an rud a bhí ag tastáil ón muintear na hÉireann.
It's not about money tonight. It's about just a temporary changing of a rule while land turnover has been developed. And that's my reading of it.
Agus bhí isacha muna nosglóg siad Páca Chrócaigh gur a bheith cumanú clascéal a bheoh híos leis níos móna in eile. Agus bhualas le daoine. Is cínim gur bhuail me le farabháinnig únta Bredáin. Bhí sé glána gine Páca Chrócaigh oscailt. Ba fúla soccer agus rugger. Ach bhótáil sé ina cumann féin I bhabha Páca Chrócaigh oscailt mar dúirt sé lom. Mar bhí na daoine tar éis rá leis muna rud é gur bhótáil an cumann sin I bhabha Páca Chrócaigh oscailt gan teacht chutha in dhéag sin leis na ticéidí, raffle agus mar sin de bhí acu nó aon rud agus bhí sin ag lán daoine agus sin an fá gur raibh an clúsacha leis an rud a bhí ag tarlú ar an dalamh agus chuir siad maithas cumanú clascéal os ceann na túraimí persanta bhí acu féin.
Right, so our delegates are mandated to vote for the temporary removal of Rule 42.
Captain Fáriel dó gur chóir rud amháin a rá thar aon rud eile. Go raibh sé ag tarlú de réir a chéal, de bhí meón an chumann ag ahrú gan aon dabhad. Agus de bhí is cinnte go darlóg sé, an taon rud ná an darlóg sé céan bblion go darlóg sin.
If a neighbour's house went on fire, as a farmer got here like a Wexford said to me the other night,
and you had a spare room, you wouldn't leave them out in the cold. And I think we owe the Irish people that.
I go Nyartini on, Bidger, Kudge Mordini, the common Bidger and Kudges Mo, Knock Rowy Varver, Oscald, Ach Bashin on Rod Carta Yanu Egan Omshin, August a Rish, Visha, he wasn't talk the mar symbol, no Visha Mar Rudder Bihella.
I strongly oppose the opening of Croke Park, and my views, I believe, were well meant, and they were my own personal views, and I have been consistent in that way. But I've always said during that process that whatever decision the association would make in a democratic way, that I would fully support that.
Agus is sportúla in áíire a bhí going riamh in éon crinú dar raibh mis go raibh buinte gumsa leis, agus bhí lántáis leis sin do pléché go mion ar feadh gáir clíg, bhí sé cosú le clíchanis in áíire, agus deiredála bhí vótáil rúnda ging. Dar bhí sin ní raibh leiscí le géine, ní raibh éon goránna géine, agus ó héamh sé féine chuir sé anáthas orm gur raibh daoine a bhí i gcuine Park Croke Oscailt, dúirt sé gur thug mé cóhanna na féine go chéine, ché gur raibh is a ceachtaine gur mé bhábhar Park Croke Oscailt. Dar bhí sin nuair bhí sé sin déanta agus na bhótaí go léir agin bhí seachta fan géad i bhábhar Park Croke Oscailt. Tá 227, Neil 97, the motion is passed.
An tachtan ar oscail Park an Crocaig ag gataí don rugby, nocht si a síl sin nua do stad lán de hacahóirí do chluthas rathe idir híróin agus ach lia. Ach níos loch si a gart, go dtí go duchach na Sasnig.
Well, no matter your thoughts or opinions on this day, no matter your colour or your creed, this is a moment that will live in the memory for many, many years to come as England make their way to Croke Park.
Mar tháinig na Sasnig go Park Croke, mar chu sé sin déiste na Randíine go háir a bhína chuine. Fern, Sasanna, i tackle Park Croke, an áit in Maríoch, Hogan, million against Fahian, agus an ish fall to more Rivna Sasnig.
Ladies and gentlemen, the anthems will now be played by the combined Army No. 1 and Guard bands.
Agus curach an fáilte mór na Sasnig, agus stom go sin úna, ní bháin ar London is a tíir seo a chur an Downa League, agus chuna daoine an sin, go raibh dul chun cín mór déanta, ní bháin i cumúna clascail ach muinteam na hÉireann mar éanad, agus cheasamar mar éanad an lá sin I Park Croke in na Sasnig, fi daoine ann an tuisceart, fi protestúnig ann, fi Catholic ann, fi ceachsáis daoine ann, agus an lá sin amach is dólam go raibh bheithar mór tagtha ar an tíir seo agus go raibh sé le feiceáil go léir mar bhí sé le feiceáil ar an telefís. Fáilte mór I fear na Sasanna, buinte na hÉireann ag seasamh le chéile go mar éanad agus an sin chumar amach agus bhúmar ar fear na Hasanna agus chuir sé sin ás ar gacha le gine.
Croke Park on their feet to salute the heroes in green.
We've had soccer and rugby games in Croke Park. Has it diminished our association in any way? I think time will only tell that, but possibly not. I think it has shown that we have an outstanding stadium, unequalled throughout Europe, that we've been able to have the openness to parade other games at Croke Park. So, while there would be some scepticism still, but I think generally we're big enough and able enough to move forward. Are you all right? Stand there. Look down there. Smile. Look at the cameras. Look at the cameras on your left. Well done.
1 year after we opened up Croke Park in the spring of 2008, we have had in our national GAA stadium 2 international soccer friendlies, 2 international rugby matches. We will have, I think, Celine Dion, Neil Diamond and a boy called Prince. We will not have our National Football or Hurling League finals in our national GAA stadium. And for me, that's just wrong. That's crazy in marketing terms. It's just crazy.
We marked the pitch, 4 jackets, 4 goalposts, that was all. The corners and squares were there like longitude and latitude onto the bumpy ground. To be agreed about or disagreed about. When the time came and when we picked the teams and crossed the lines, our call names drew between us.
Gonna have the 7s behind the red.
We are the 7s. Oh, hello. Go to the number 7.
4 years ago, we undertook a strategic review of GAA activity in Dublin, and we identified Tyrrellstown and the Greater Blanchardstown as a focus area because of the new houses, and we identified Tyrrellstown as an area that would support a new club and where we needed to grow GAA activity. Well, the unique challenges in Tyrrellstown is that we now had a community that lacked the main standard bearers for GAA activity as in previous years. Traditionally, a GAA club would have been formed in Dublin from people who had moved from strong GAA areas, whether that be within Dublin or from the country, and they would have created that impetus to form a GAA club. In Tyrrellstown, it's a very mixed community between some local people with a GAA heritage, but the vast majority wouldn't come from a GAA background.
If you keep practice, you're going to be able to kick like me. You watching this big high one?
Well, it's like everything. At the start, they didn't have a clue what I was talking about. And it was a basis, it wasn't something that happened overnight, but it was a basis of every week I would have slowly introduced them to a new skill and the reasons why we played it and how to play it. And I couldn't believe my own eyes when, after just 2 or 3 months, that there was kids in 4th and 5th and 6th class able to actually play a Gaelic game in the schoolyard and understand fully the rules, and were able to go through it. And then after we realised that everyone could catch on to the concept pretty early, we would bring it through the whole underage of the school, because that's what's going to bring our club in the future, like working with the 5, the 6 and the 7th in the school. So that's really what we were doing.
I'm from Romania, and I was born in Romania, and we nearly have 6-7 years in this country. Yeah, we're keeping trying our best and keep on playing the game. The game is just perfect for us, and trying to do our best to get ahead some matches.
The nice thing about playing it, you get to play matches, blitz, and you have fun, and sometimes you can make friends with the other players.
And we're hoping that parents will come along and start showing that there's not barriers within it anymore, that they're more than welcome to come and join in and help us out, that at the end of the day, we need them to get this running and get this going, and it'll be the best thing for the whole community, give the children something to do.
I have 2 kids here now, 1 boy and 1 girl. They really like it, you know. First of all, it gives them an opportunity to come out every Saturday and just run around, you know, and run after the ball and play with other kids as well. But beyond that, you know, I think they are learning some valuable skills, you know, control of their bodies and of the ball, which I believe will be very helpful as they grow up.
All around, and that's it. 1 foot in and out, well done, good lads, excellent.
Youngsters shouting their heads off in a field. As the light died, they kept on playing. Because by then, they were playing in their heads, and the actual kickball came to them like a dream heaviness. And their own heart breathing in the dark and skids on grass sounded like efforts in another world. It was quick and constant, the game that never needed to be played out. Some limits had been passed. There were fleetness, furtherness, untiredness, in time that was extra, unforeseen and free.
Har céad bheith goig bliana, bhí go leor léachra amána ann. Ach a 2008 tháinig foireann lán léachra chun cín. Bhain cíl chunig faoin na manisteoir Brian Cody 3 chréimh as a chéile faoi dhéile, an chéadúir sa ré có aimsirna.
But what I would say about the present Kilkenny team is this: they're physically fit, they're very strong, they're big men. They play at a sustained intensity. that's very hard to cope with, and they can do it for the full 70 minutes. They have brought first touch as close to perfection as you can bring it, and that's a tremendous asset in any team. What they do is done at speed, another great asset. And equally important, they function as of one mind.
Is tóg ceann den forbartí is simúla le fiche bliain nó níos mó ná go bhfuil béim níos mór curtha ag an meán commerciáilte go generarálte cécó lárnacht agus atá cluiche an Cumann Luath le scéal i gcúrsaí an phobal, sa pobal go áitiúil fud na tíre. Béidir mar dearan go minic go bhfuil an club go bhfuil sé béidir an áitis tábhachtaí le nó an crí Cumann Luath le scéal, ach go bhfuil sin lárnach i léirú na cluichí ó na thugta GAA go mórmhór tríd na fógraíocht, agus go bhfuil an fás comór sin Cumann Luath le scéal, agus a ról agus a córáircach agus atá an Cumann inis agus na cluichí inis tríd an telefís agus tríd na fógraíocht go léir.
The AIB Club Championships. Be part of it.
Bíodh gur agriocht amatéireach ag Cumann Luath le scéal, bhí sé ag feimú go leor bailí i slí gairmiúd. Bhí na himreoirí idirchúntaí ag fíochant agus iad fácamach as an gairmiúlacht. Dhéann na himreoirí siléire nach ráidir a lorg túrastal ach luach séhir as a nílseacht de chluí a bhí tuilh an méid sin airgid.
Tána rácht ar chúsaí garamúlachta le rainmhá blianta níos. Agus tá labhram heilimh agam sa baile. A scríomh Dick Fitzgerald, captéan chiaí sa bhliain 1930 agus 1940. Bhí cúicréamh buinteach ag an am, agus bé scríomh an chéad labhríomh ar chúsaí pelle. Agus at go leor, tá trácht ag sa labhar sin.
It is to be hoped that Gaelic football will always remain as natural a game as it is today, and accordingly we trust that while it will ever be developing on the scientific side, it may never become the possession of the professional player.
Bin sa bbliain 1940.
Níl an sacrútágin fi láthair iarúnach don látán ó bhain, ní has daoin cluichí garamúla thuirtisteach ach ag an nám géanna tá fáibegin le seo agus beidir gur ceatúin é sin na phlé.
If we move away from what the voluntary input gives to Gaelic games and has done and has sustained it over so many years, then we'll be throwing out the baby with the bathwater. And that's the great danger. And people in rugby will all warn us that it was the worst thing they ever did was to move, when they moved into fully professional, the clubs just got decimated. And if that happened in Gaelic games, then we would be at a huge loss. And no money could compensate for what the GAA is currently doing for the people of all of Ireland, the families, the communities, society at large. That cannot be bought and never should be bought. And therefore we have to be very, very careful in how we manage that whole side of the onset of professionalism, inverted commas, and in the sense of people getting paid and doing things in a professional way with an amateur ethos. That's a challenge for all of us.
Ag 125 bliain d'aois, tá buaic suiste ag Cumann Luath le scéal a dagach iontas agus áthas an grúpa be go tháinig le na chéile an Óstán Hayes an 88 Ach leis an gcumann níos saibhre agus níos lárnaí a saoil sóisialta agus cultúra na tíre ná mar a bhí riamh, tugann sé aigenis ré nua. Agus in san stair dintar plé go minic ar cadba an cluiche a bheith riamh. An freagrad ar nó, an chiad chluiche eile.